The relentless pounding of rain on the windshield created an eerie symphony of terror as I maneuvered my car through the desolate road. The gas gauge, mocking me with its single glowing bar, reminded me of the urgent need to find shelter. My heart raced with every flickering sign of civilization, each teasing me before disappearing into the darkness once again. And then, like a divine intervention, a gas station materialized in the distance. Its flickering neon lights promised warmth, respite, and the lifeline of fuel. With relief flooding my veins, I pulled into the nearly deserted station, the tires skidding on the rain-soaked asphalt. A wave of apprehension washed over me as I stepped out into the night, the storm now reaching its crescendo. The air was heavy with an indiscernible tension, as if the very atmosphere was screaming at me to turn back. But the dwindling fuel in my tank forced my resolve, and I approached the ancient pump, its rusty surface barely visible through the deluge. The gas station attendant emerged from the shadows, his face obscured by a tattered hood. A chilling smile danced across his lips, revealing yellowed teeth that seemed to match the flickering gas station lights. "Evening, stranger," he rasped, his voice grating like nails on a chalkboard. "Need some fuel, I reckon." I nodded, my unease growing with each passing second. He began pumping gas into my car, his eyes fixed on the flickering lights of the station, as if expecting some malevolent presence to emerge from the shadows. "Storm's not just rain, you know," he muttered, his voice barely audible over the raging tempest. "It brings out the worst in people and things." His words sent a shiver down my spine, but before I could question him further, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night. The gas station attendant froze, his eyes widening with terror. Panic consumed me as the source of the scream revealed itself, a disheveled woman, her clothes drenched in rain and fear, stumbling towards us. "They're coming! Please, you have to help me!" she shrieked, her voice strangled with desperation. The gas station attendant's face contorted with dread, and in that moment, I saw a darkness in his eyes that mirrored the storm outside. He grabbed my arm, his grip cold and clammy. "Get back in your car now!" he bellowed, his voice filled with an urgency that left no room for argument. I hesitated for a moment, torn between the need to flee and the desire to help the terrified woman. But the desperation etched on her face pushed me towards action. Ignoring the gas station attendant's warnings, I raced towards her, pulling her towards the safety of my car. The gas station attendant's eyes widened with horror as he screamed at me, his voice swallowed by the storm. But it was too late. In my rearview mirror, I saw them, a grotesque horde of twisted creatures emerging from the darkness, their eyes glowing with malice. Fear gripped my heart as I slammed my foot on the gas pedal, the wheels screeching in protest as we tore away from the gas station. Rain and tears mingled on my face as the woman beside me trembled, her eyes reflecting the trauma that awaited us. And then, in a moment of heart-stopping realization, I understood the gas station attendant's warning. It wasn't the storm that brought out the worst in people and things. It was the gas station itself, a haven for the abominations that lurked within, preying on lost souls seeking refuge in the storm. As we sped into the night, the flickering lights of the gas station faded into the distance, but the horror of that place remained etched in my mind. I had narrowly escaped its clutches, but the knowledge that it still lurked out there waiting for its next victim would haunt me forever. For those who dared to seek shelter at the gas station in the storm, there was no escape from the darkness that resided within its walls. And as the rain continued to pour, I knew that my ordeal was far from over, a mere brush with the horrors that lay hidden beneath the surface of our everyday lives. The rain poured relentlessly, creating an eerie symphony on the roof of my car as I ventured down the desolate highway. The clock on the dashboard mocked me with its flashing digits, 2:47 a.m. I was on the late-night shift, the only car cutting through the darkness. My fuel gauge sank perilously close to empty, and the glow of a neon sign beckoned in the distance, a gas station, a beacon of hope amidst the storm. My heart pounded with relief as I pulled into the deserted lot, the flickering fluorescent lights casting long shadows across the pavement. The place seemed frozen in time, trapped in the clutches of abandonment. Unease crept through me, but my desperate need for fuel eclipsed any misgivings. I stepped out into the damp night, feeling the weight of silence pressing in on me. Inside, a dimly lit convenience store greeted me. Shelves lined with dusty items and outdated magazines stood as silent witnesses to the passage of time. A bell chimed as I entered, the sound echoing through the empty space. The only sign of life was the middle-aged attendant behind the counter, his eyes sunken and tired. "Late night, huh?" he mumbled, barely looking up from his newspaper. "Yeah," I replied, my voice faltering in the stillness. "Just need to fill up." He handed me a nozzle and pointed to the farthest pump. As I stepped back outside, the rain cascaded down with renewed vigor, muffling any sound beyond the immediate vicinity. I watched the numbers tick slowly as the fuel flowed, my anxiety growing like a dark cloud in my mind. Suddenly, a chilling breeze whispered through the air, ruffling my hair and causing a shiver to crawl down my spine. I turned, scanning the deserted lot. Something wasn't right. The attendant's eyes met mine through the window, but his face was etched with fear, his mouth moving soundlessly as if warning me of some hidden danger. A thunderclap shattered the silence, startling me back to reality. I shook off the unease, chalking it up to nerves and an overactive imagination. The fuel gauge finally clicked full, and I hurriedly replaced the nozzle, yearning to escape the eerie gas station. Just as I was about to retreat to the safety of my car, a flickering light caught my attention. Glancing over, I saw a small path leading into the darkness behind the station. A dimly illuminated sign creaked on its rusty hinges. Restrooms. Curiosity mingled with dread as I hesitated for a moment, pondering my next move. The rain hissed around me, almost urging me to investigate. Against my better judgment, I followed the winding path, guided by the distant glow of a flickering fluorescent light. As I neared the decrepit restrooms, a putrid stench wafted through the air. The door to the ladies' room swung open ominously, revealing a haunting scene. The interior was dilapidated, its walls smeared with unidentifiable stains. A twisted, broken mirror reflected my pale, terrified face. Suddenly, the light above me flickered and died, plunging me into darkness. Panic surged through my veins as I fumbled for the exit, praying for the light of the gas station to guide me back to safety. But as I stepped outside, I realized the once illuminated lot had been consumed by darkness. The neon sign, the lone source of hope, had vanished, leaving nothing but void. Fear gripped me as I stumbled through the inky blackness, my hands trembling. Whispers danced on the wind, haunting voices that spoke of forgotten nightmares. A sensation of being watched crawled up my spine, each step forward feeling like a dance with death. Then, in the distance, a faint glow appeared, a single beam of light piercing through the blackness. It emanated from the gas station's entrance, beckoning me like a moth to a flame. Desperation eclipsed my reason as I hurried toward it, my heart pounding in my chest. As I approached, the light revealed a horrifying truth. The gas station was no more than a hollow shell, a relic of the past. The attendant's weathered face peered out from behind the counter, but his eyes were vacant, devoid of life. He was nothing but a spectral guardian, trapped in an eternal cycle of terror. A blood-curdling scream erupted from my throat, but no sound escaped my lips. The darkness closed in, swallowing everything, leaving only me and the echoes of my own terror. I was trapped, destined to relive this nightmare for eternity. And so, dear reader, heed my warning. Beware the gas station in the dead of night, for once it claims you, there is no escape. The night was dark, the air thick with a sense of foreboding. I found myself driving down a desolate road, the only illumination coming from the weak glow of my headlights. My fuel gauge was perilously close to empty, urging me to find a gas station before I became stranded in the unknown. Little did I know that my quest for fuel would become a journey into the depths of terror. As the engine hummed, I kept my eyes peeled for any sign of civilization. Just when I was beginning to lose hope, a flickering neon sign emerged from the darkness like a guiding beacon. "Gas station ahead," it read, and relief washed over me. I pulled into the empty parking lot, its silence unsettling. An eerie sensation crept up my spine, but desperation outweighed my unease. I stepped out of the car, the chill of the night sending a shiver through my body. The gas station was a dilapidated building, the paint peeling off the walls, and its windows coated with grime. I hesitated for a moment, questioning the wisdom of stopping in such a desolate place, but the dwindling fuel in my tank silenced my doubts. Pushing open the rusty door, I was greeted by a gust of stale air that smelled of decay. The interior was dimly lit, casting long shadows that seemed to dance in the flickering fluorescent lights. My heart pounded in my chest as I approached the counter, my footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. "Hello?" I called out tentatively, my voice swallowed by the emptiness. There was no response. I scanned the shelves, finding only a few outdated snacks and a row of dusty bottles. The atmosphere grew more unsettling with each passing second. An unsettling feeling of being watched crept over me, causing the hairs on the back of my neck to stand on end. I turned towards the door, only to find it sealed shut, the sound of a lock clicking into place echoing in the room. Panic gripped me as I rushed towards it, my hands frantically tugging at the handle, but it refused to budge. A low, sinister chuckle resonated through the air, freezing me in place. From the shadows emerged a figure, cloaked in darkness, their face concealed by a tattered hood. They took slow, deliberate steps toward me, their eyes glinting with an unholy light. I stumbled backward, my mind racing for an escape that seemed impossible. "You should not have come here," the figure whispered, their voice a chilling rasp. "This place, this station, it feeds on the desperate souls who stumble upon it." Fear tightened its grip around my heart as I realized the truth. I was not the first victim, nor would I be the last. The gas station was a trap, a malevolent entity preying on those in need. I had unknowingly entered its realm, and now it hungered for my soul. With no way to escape, I braced myself for the inevitable. The figure lunged forward, their hands outstretched towards me, and as their icy fingers made contact, my vision faded into darkness. The next morning, a passerby discovered my abandoned car near the gas station. Police were called, but their search yielded no results. I was gone, vanished without a trace, leaving only a chilling mystery behind. And to this day, the gas station stands, a sinister monument to those who dare to travel its path. If you ever find yourself on a desolate road, desperate for fuel, remember this cautionary tale, for it may be your last.